I've spent my entire life studying wealth, not just how to build it, but mainly what destroys it. After 94 years of observing human behavior in financial markets, I can say something with absolute certainty. Most people aren't poor because they don't earn enough money. They are poor or remain stagnant in the middle class because they buy the wrong things. It's that simple. And at the same time, terribly complicated because these wrong things don't seem wrong at first glance. They seem normal. They seem like achievements. They seem like what everyone is doing. The whole society screams in your ear that you should buy them, that you deserve to have them. And they may even make you feel good temporarily, filling a momentary emotional void. But the brutal truth is that they are silently destroying your wealth, slowly, year after year, like invisible termites eating the foundation of a wooden house. You don't see the damage happening. You only realize it when the structure collapses and it's too late. Today I want to talk about 5 specific things that most people buy without thinking twice. 5 things that seem harmless, perhaps even necessary. But if you want to get rich, really rich, and not just look rich, you need to stop, buy them immediately. And I'm not talking about small luxuries like your daily coffee. I'm talking about silent wealth killers, financial decisions that can cost hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollars over their lifespan. Let's start with the first. The biggest wealth destroyer I see in modern society, and which keeps millions of people trapped in the rat race. New cars. Now, I know what you're thinking. Warren, everyone needs a car. How can that be a wealth destroyer? Let me explain with cold, hard numbers, not the cars themselves. The problem is the new cars, 0-kilometer vehicles that people buy directly from the dealership. Buying a new car is statistically one of the worst financial decisions an individual can make. And yet millions make that decision every year. Hypnotized by marketing and the smell of new plastic, they walk into a dealership, smell that intoxicating scent, and sign their financial freedom on a piece of paper. Here's why new cars are so devastating. The moment you drive a new car out of the lot, it loses about 10 to 20% of its value immediately. It's instant depreciation. You haven't even arrived yet, not even home yet, and already lost thousands of dollars. It's like burning cash. Then, in the next 5 years, that car will lose about 60% of its initial value. So a $40,000 car becomes a $16,000 car. You've lost $24,000 just by owning it. Just for the vanity of having gotten rid of the plastic from the banks. But the financial tragedy gets worse because most people don't buy cars with cash. They finance them. So now you're not just losing money and brutal depreciation. You're also paying compound interest against you, thousands of dollars more over the life of the loan. Let's do the complete and painful math. You buy a $40,000 car, finance it for 5 years at 5% interest. Your monthly payment is about $754. Over 5 years, you will pay about $45,240 in total. And at the end of those 5 years, your car is worth about $16,000. So you paid $45,000 to own something worth $16,000. You lost $29,000. Almost $30,000 disappeared, evaporated from your net worth. Now, here's what really kills me is the opportunity cost. Those same $30,000, if you had invested them in a simple index fund with a 10% annual return. In 30 years, they would be worth about $523,000. $500,000 from a single decision, a single choice not to buy a new car. And it's not just one car. Most people buy a new car every 5 or 7 years. Over a lifetime, that wrong decision is made 5, 6, 7 times. We're talking about millions of dollars in lost wealth that were transferred from your pocket to the pockets of car manufacturers and banks. I've never bought a new car. Never. Not even when I was poor. And certainly not now. I buy reliable, boring, practical used cars, and I drive them until they can't be driven anymore. People find this strange. They say, Warren, you're worth over $100 billion. You could buy any car you wanted. Why do you drive that old thing? And I tell them, because a car is transportation. It takes me from point A to point B. A new car doesn't get me there any better than a used one. So why would I waste efficient capital on it? That's the change in mindset, that you need a car. It's not a status symbol. It's not an extension of your personality or proof of your success. It's a tool that depreciates and costs money every single day you own it. So if you want to get rich, stop buying new cars, buy a reliable used car that's 5 to 7 years old. Pay cash, drive it for 10 years or more, and invest every dollar you're saving by not having a car payment. This single decision will make you rich over time. I guarantee it. The second thing you need to stop buying if you want to build real wealth. And this is painful for many people because it touches on the dream of owning a home, is a very expensive house for your income. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't buy a house. Owning a house can be a good financial decision if you do it right, but the vast majority of people don't do it right. They buy too many houses. They stretch themselves to the absolute limit of what a bank will lend. And the banks are happy to lend as much as possible because they make money from the interest. They don't care if you become poor because of the house. They don't care if you won't have any money left over to invest in your retirement. Here's what happens in practice. A bank tells someone who earns $100,000 a year that they can afford a $400,000 house. And that person thinks, great, I've been approved for $400,000. I should buy a $400,000 house. But that's financial insanity. Just because a bank is going to lend you money doesn't mean you should take it. Banks qualify you based on debt-income ratios designed to maximize their profits, not your wealth. A $400,000 house with a 20% down payment means a $320,000 mortgage at 4% interest over 30 years. That's about $1,500 a month just in principal and interest. Add property taxes, insurance, maintenance, and you're looking at $2,200 to $2,500 a month each. That's $25,000 to $30,000 a year on an income of $100,000. That's 30% of your gross income. But after taxes, you're spending 40% or more of your net salary just to have a place to sleep and what's left to invest. To build wealth, almost nothing. You become rich in your house and poor in money. Your assets are locked in bricks and mortar, an equity you can't access unless you sell or go into debt again. I bought my house in 1958 for $31,500. I could have bought something much bigger even back then, but I didn't need to. The house was comfortable, it was in a good location, and because I kept my housing costs low, I had free capital to invest, to buy undervalued stocks, to acquire stakes in businesses. That's how I built wealth. Not by living in the biggest house I could afford, but by living in a modest house and investing the difference furiously. Here's my golden rule for housing. Your house shouldn't cost more than 2.5 to 3 times your annual income. Ideally less. So if you earn $100,000 a year, you should be looking at houses in the $250,000 to $30,000 range. Not for $100,000. And you should put down at least 20% to avoid private mortgage insurance and look for a 15-year mortgage. Not 30, pay it off as quickly as possible so you don't become a slave. Despite the high interest rates for decades, most people do the opposite. They buy as much as possible, finance for the maximum term, and then wonder why it never gets anywhere. Your house should support your wealth building, not hinder it. It should be a home, not a financial anchor that drowns you in payments and maintenance. You want to get rich? Stop buying houses that are too expensive for your reality. Buy fewer houses than you can afford and invest the difference. This discipline over 30 years creates a disparity of millions of dollars in your net worth. The third thing you need to stop buying if you want to build real wealth is new furniture and home decor. This may seem trivial, but it's a silent financial drain that catches most people off guard. A new sofa costs $2,000, dining table $3,000, bedroom furniture several thousand more. And before you know it, you've spent $30,000 or $40,000 just filling empty spaces. And what is the function of furniture? It's practical. You sit on it, you eat on it, you sleep on it. New furniture doesn't perform this function any better than high-quality used furniture. But people buy new because they want that showroom feel. They want to impress visitors and stores. Take advantage of this by offering financing with high interest rates. Now you're paying interest on a sofa that's losing value every day because furniture also, especially modern pieces that aren't made to last. Here's what truly wealthy people do. They buy used furniture. They look in estate sales and consignment shops where they find solid wood pieces and classic designs for a fraction of the original price. Or they buy new furniture very slowly, paying cash only for the essentials. I have pieces in my house that they've been there for decades as they still work. And I don't see the point in replacing something that works just out of vanity. Let me give you the numbers. If you spend $30,000 on new furniture versus $10,000 on used furniture and invest that $20,000 difference at a 10% return for 30 years, you would have almost $350,000. Think about that. $350,000 of lost wealth just because you insisted on removing the plastic from the furniture instead of buying something with history. Stop buying new furniture, buy used, buy slowly, and invest the difference. Your bank account will thank you in the future. The fourth thing you need to stop buying, and this is an epidemic in modern society, is technology and the latest gadgets. The new iPhone every year, the fastest laptop, the trendy tech companies have convinced you that these desires are absolute necessities, but they are not. They are tools, and expensive tools that become obsolete almost immediately. A new phone costs $1,000 and loses value the moment it comes out of the box. If you change your phone every 2 years instead of every year and invest those $500 saved annually over 40 years of adult life, you will have almost $1 million, just 1 million. Because I don't follow the technological herd and keep my devices longer, I don't own a state-of-the-art smartphone. I've used a simple phone for years. It makes calls, and that's enough. People think I'm old-fashioned, but my phone costs almost nothing, doesn't distract me, and doesn't require constant updates. I see technology as a tool to serve me, not as a status symbol to show off to others. Most people update their gadgets not because they need to, but because they want the novelty, because they want the status. But rich people use technology until it stops working or becomes truly useless. So if you want to get rich, stop chasing the newest model. Use what you have until the end. Buy refurbished models or older generations. Every dollar you don't spend on a gadget that will end up in the trash in 3 years is a dollar that contributes to your financial freedom. The fifth and final thing you need to stop buying if you want to get rich is luxury experiences you can't afford. I'm talking about expensive vacations, first-class flights, 5-star hotels. Current culture tells you to spend because you only live once and need to create memories. But often people are just creating debt and anxiety. A week's vacation, luxury can cost $10,000 or $15,000, and when it's over, all that's left are Instagram photos and a credit card bill that will take you months to pay. I'm not saying don't travel and don't enjoy life. I'm saying do it intelligently. You spend $20,000 a year on luxury vacations over 30 years, a wasted fortune. But if you spent $5,000 on simpler trips, focused on experience and not luxury, and invested the other $15,000, you would have $2.5 million in the future. That's the real choice. A week of luxury today or millions of dollars of security and freedom tomorrow. The best memories come from the company of the people you love and the experiences lived. not from counting the threads of hotel sheets. So stop trying to impress others with trips that don't fit your budget and start financing your freedom. Let's recap these 5 things, because if you eliminate them from your life, you will change your financial destiny. 1. Stop buying new cars. Buy used and reliable ones. 2. Stop buying very expensive houses. Keep your housing costs low. 3. Stop buying new and expensive furniture. 4. Stop chasing the latest gadgets. And 5. Stop paying for luxury vacations you can't afford. I know doing this is difficult because it requires you to swim against the current. The whole society pressures you to spend to appear successful now. But true wealth is silent. True wealth is the freedom to wake up in the morning and do what you want without worrying about bills. I chose this freedom a long time ago and I've never regretted it. You make the same choice today. Have the discipline to live below your means. Have the courage to be different and have the patience to invest. The difference isn't magic, math. If you do this consistently for 10 or 20 years, you will be rich, not just appear rich. So stop buying what destroys your wealth and start building your future right now. If this content touched you and opened your eyes to the truth about money, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more revelations. Thank you for listening, and go make better choices with your money.